My name is Anna Gritz and I'm the Associate Curator here, and this touring talk is going to take a slightly different format from my normal tours because we are so close to Trafalgar Square that we thought it would be great to, instead of just looking at the exhibition that we have up in our theatre, we're going to do a quick walk over to Trafalgar Square, look at a couple of things over there, then come back here and look at the actual exhibition. So Fourth Plinth Contemporary Monument came to the ICA from the GLA, the Mayor's Office, the kind of public body that is currently commissioning the artworks on the plinths. The exhibition downstairs in the theatre shows all of the ones to date, but not in the actual shapes, but in the form of models and maquettes that were made as part of the commissioning process for either the public or the public together with a commissioning group to decide on who would actually make it up on the plinths.
So very interesting to be at this point when the project has developed so substantially from its first ideas and proposals in 1996-97. I think the exhibition is very beautiful. The maquettes look very beautiful, and it's interesting to me that it's been placed in conjunction with a sense of the media debate that was generated by the project and the proposals. I think there are twin processes happening at the same time. There's a kind of liberation from old conventions where the pedestals were designed for equestrian statues for military men on horseback. Equestrian statues reflected royalty, and yet Mark Wallinger's first contribution was a single solo life-size standing figure standing right at the edge of the plinth in a deliberate subversion of these old conventions. The old conventions have been comprehensively challenged by the Fourth Plinth project. The pedestal has been liberated from those conventions to allow contemporary representations. And at the same time, how critical are we as a population? I think that's really what I want to say.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Maybe what we should do next is gather our clothes and have a look on the square itself.
This bronze plaque set into the ground reads, "On the site now occupied by the statue of King Charles I was erected the original Queen Eleanor's Cross, a replica of which stands in front of Charing Cross Station. Mileages from London are measured from the site of the original cross." So we are at the centre of London. Well, Trafalgar Square was conceived of in 1805, 1812 by John Nash, who was the architect for the Prince Regent, and the Prince Regent was keen to reflect British power in the world. Until that moment, it was occupied by the King's Mews, in other words, stables for horses, and also a lot of taverns, alehouses, lodging for court nobility, a very, very dense area of activity. There were market stalls here because this is the joint in the axis of Old London, the crucial joint between the Strand coming from the city and Whitehall and Westminster down there. So this whole site was the King's Mews and all this public buildings. But here there was the Eleanor Cross, which was this stone cross. It didn't have any figurative representation, which was a symbol of royal feeling. And there was the Stocks and Gallows, so it was where people were punished. These are the Trafalgar Square bylaws, 2012, which regulate the ways in which one can gather in the square. One of the things that happened in Trafalgar Square in the 1840s was that vagrants began to sleep in it. People who didn't have the vote, who didn't own property, who were therefore not allowed to vote, began to gather in it in order to protest. And at the same time, government began to create systems for dealing with people who gathered in public. So Trafalgar Square became a theatre for the evolution of the way in which government dealt with the mass population over issues such as the right to vote.